Don't touch that dial. Just chill for a while. Keep it locked with my man Tony D. Welcome to something new, something you're not used to. It's fresh and guaranteed to bless. New Artist Profile. Yeah, it's a new day with a new sound. Keep it locked, you're listening to the new Artist Profile. Thank God for music, new music on the radio.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Tony D on the radio, and we are back live. It's been some time since we've been live with you, but I'm excited to bring you the NAP show live this week. Happy August, guys. It's the second weekend in August, and Christmas will be here tomorrow. It's coming upon us quick. So if you got things you want to accomplish by the end of the year, I suggest you go ahead and get it started. But we're going to do this. We're going to get started with the show. I'm excited about our guest this week. She is a radio veteran, a music director, syndicated radio show host, red carpet host, all around broadcast guru. And I'm happy to call her friend. We're not going to tell you her name yet because you got to stay tuned to see who she is. But we're going to play a couple of things. We're going to give you some information. And then we'll be back with our guests this week. And we're doing something a little different with the show. We're not going to have any musical guests this week. We're just going to talk about the music industry, the gospel music industry. So if you're watching and you know somebody in the industry, or you know an independent artist that needs some information or just wants to hear what we have to say, make sure you share this live and get them on, all right? But right now, we're going to give you some information, and we'll be back with more of the NAP Show Live with your boy, Tony D.
Media-based gospel internet radio #1 recording artist, Imelda. Now booking available for radio interviews, praise and worship leader, national anthem soloist, weddings, guest soloist, workshop clinician, youth choir, choir director, and music arranger. Contact CSC Media Group at cscmediabiz@yahoo.com.
Yo, what up, family? It's your boy, Tony D on the radio. It is a beautiful Friday evening, and I'm just out on my evening walk. But I wanted to remind you about new music that I just dropped. Check out my Bandcamp page, bandcamp.com. Put Tony D in the search engine and check out my new single entitled Night Vibes. We're warming you up for new music that will be coming from us in June. I got a summertime jam that will be right for your parties and for your barbecues. You can even line dance to this joint. So get ready for my summertime joint. I'll tell you the title. I'll tell you everything a little bit later. But right now, I'm warming you up with some smooth jazz, as I always bring you Night Vibes on my Bandcamp page, exclusively on Bandcamp. It's not even been dropped nationwide yet. So check it out on Bandcamp. It's entitled Night Vibes. Hey, and follow all of my music on Bandcamp as well. If you haven't followed me, make sure you do, because you get all of the exclusive information first if you follow your boy Tony D on radio. All right? Have a great weekend, and I'll be back with you on Monday with the new artist profile. Chill. And we are back, and yes, Bandcamp is where you can get my music, but that single Night Vibes is now available streaming on all streaming platforms. So go ahead and listen to it, download it, make it a part of your collection. And that video is a little older. Our new single, Party Tonight, is now available. It is streaming everywhere. We have the music video on my YouTube channel, The Music of Tony D. So make sure you download Party Tonight and check out the video Party Tonight. Definitely will make you smile, put a smile on your face. You might want to even dance. Yeah, we got a line dance challenge also going on with that one. So we got a lot of things going on with Party Tonight. But we're going to get into our guest today, man. I'm telling you, I'm excited to call this young lady a friend. I've been knowing her for some time. She's been a supporter of the New Artist Profile and my music for, I don't even want to begin to count how many years. I know it's well over 6 or 7. She's been a red carpet host when I used to do the New Artist Profile Award show. And the New Artist Profile airs on her station in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina, the Promise WAJA. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing none other than my dear friend, Miss Patrice Smith. What's going on, Patrice?
What's going on? Tony D, how you doing on this good Sunday evening?
Man, I'm good. Welcome in, sister. Welcome in.
I started looking around like, who he talk about?
I'm talking about you, child. Talking about you.
Great introduction.
Tell the viewers a little bit about who Patrice Smith is.
Well, Patrice, a little bit of Southern hospitality, city slicker mixed in all together. I grew up going to Connecticut in the summers, and I went to school here in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. So, I kind of got a mixture of that sweet tea and that soda pop that they call.
I never knew about the Connecticut part.
Yeah.
So is that where you're from?
No, my mom's family is from there, from Connecticut, but I'm born and raised here in North Carolina, Rocky Mountain, North Carolina.
Okay.
But my second home, if you have to have a dual residency, I would say Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut. Shout out to all my people there. Is my second home. And so went to school, Eagle Pride, North Carolina Central University, graduated like everybody else, running around like a dog with the tail cut off, trying to find my purpose, trying to find a job, trying to make some money.
Right.
And long story short, came back to North Carolina, started really focusing in on my faith in God and just trying to hone in on my purpose, praying, and ended up inside of a radio station. First, I was doing sales. Bringing in contracts on that. And then all of a sudden, Bronson Williams, shout out to him, the owner of New Light Media here, put me on for, it's supposed to have been Tony D just one day because the person that he hired didn't show up. So he's like, hey, why don't you just do this until I hire somebody? So here I am. He's still looking to hire somebody.
20 years later, right? That's great. And you also did some work with Rejoice America Radio, right?
Yeah, I did some work there with Reggie. Brother Reggie had a show on Wednesdays there. He's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So, yep.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you see people's faces and you automatically connect them with something. You might not see Patrice's face on social media a lot because she stays behind the scenes, but I'm telling you, she's a powerhouse doing what she does. She has a great radio show that's syndicated on many stations across the country, and she just a wealth of knowledge in the industry. And we actually had a phone conversation the other day, just catching up, as we do periodically, and ended up talking about some industry stuff, right? And so I said, yo, you got to come on the show. So before we get into what I want to ask you about that, I want to ask you, so in media, because I know who my media icons are, people who I pattern myself after coming from New York, listening to WBLS and 97 Kiss. I was raised on Frankie Crocker and Vaughn Harper with The Quiet Storm and a lot of people on the gospel station WWRL. So who were some of your radio influences and that really made you decide, you know what, I really think I can do this?
My best friend, Penda. Penda, she goes by DJ Penda Ray. She worked in radio when we were in school. And I would just go hang out with her. I never had an inkling of an idea that I could be behind the mic. But she encouraged me to do it. When she was doing gospel radio, we were doing radio at the same time. And she encouraged me to do it. She kind of taught me the ropes. And then I remember watching her. And I remember, I started going back. I said, God, how in the world did I get here? But I remember just gospel radio station, Soul 92, Chuck Johnson, listening to the radio. My mom would call in and, birthday time, and they would say your name over the radio and you'd be listening. And I just remember being in love with radios. Like I had to have the boom box, the stages.
Me too. Me too.
Record from the radio station. But I remember I'm dating myself. Okay. I had the old school, it was like a little square box. It was just a tape recorder. Wasn't none of radio on it or anything else. and you could record on it. And I remember just pressing record and play and just talking into a tape and just talking and not really talking about nothing, but just talking.
Just running your mouth.
Just running my mouth. And then I would just play it back and just listen to myself. So I remember those days, and I guess that was the beginning of childhood memories of just talking. That's what I do, talk.
Yeah. I used to get in trouble in school for talking. I used to get the biggest whoopings. Dallas is all right in school, but he runs his mouth all the time. But you and I have similar stories because Angee said sounds like me. You and I have similar stories because I used to make mixtapes and I would be front and back announcing the songs. Now, I didn't know that it was called front announcing and back announcing. I was just saying what was played and what I'm going to play for you. And I would give it out to my friends and they'd be like, yo, Aunt, man, like you sound like you're on the radio. I had even created my own little drops and everything for some fictitious radio station I created. So
wow.
Yeah, man, that's I never in my wildest dreams with a history in optometry that I think that I would be behind the mic doing radio. It's crazy. Do you feel like, because I know you have a 9-to-5. I know radio does take up a lot of your time, but did you even think that you would be doing what you're doing now?
No. I was, I went to school for criminal justice. Wanted to do juvenile probation parole. I always had a love for the kids. Kind of just looking back from my childhood, but for the grace of God, there go I. I know I look innocent. This little, nice little smile, but little. Not quite juvenile delinquent, but there were some mischievous things that we all got into, that I know I got into, and I just wanted to be able to help the kids along the way, and just educate them on this is the road you want to stay away from. You have had that moment, be like, it could have been me.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's good. I just want to ask this, and we're going to dive into the meat of the conversation, right? But you've been in the gospel music industry for a long time, and you and I talked about this on the phone. I think we are both gospel music historians. Give me your favorite artists, past, present, and then who do you see being a influential artist in the future?
Past, present. I really, I grew up. My grandmother used to listen here in Rocky Mount, Pastor Reverend F.C. Barnes. I grew up listening to her, and I gotta stick with her, with him, her music. Pastor Shirley Caesar. Those are the greats, the Clark sisters. I gotta stick with the greats when it comes to that. My all-time favorite, you probably know Tony D. Yolanda Adams.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that. Yeah. But as I watch the new artists, some of the new artists you have on your show, and I listen to them, I really think I can't think of her name. You probably know her name, Lisa Noel Smith's daughter. No, that's a new one to me now. She got a daughter?
Is that her? Maybe that's not her daughter. Who is Nia Jones? Is that her daughter, or is she India Jones?
You schooling me. I played on my show.
She got a song, Faith Over Fear. It's a little.
I got to listen to that one. Yeah.
But she her music is definitely anointed.
Okay.
India Jones. I thought she was somewhat related to her, but maybe I could be mistaken. So y'all don't come at me if I'm wrong. But she's the next powerhouse. Okay,
gotcha. All right, so I know that this has been trending on social media. It was the talk and still is the talk. It's dying down some, but for a good solid month, the talk was the interview. And I'm not going to say who was the interviewer and the interviewee, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. The interview recently that just saturated social media about the gospel music industry. And some of the comments that were made was gospel music is dying, quote unquote gospel music. Now I want to preface this. We're not talking about the gospel, and we're not talking about the word, and we're not talking about God. All right. talking about gospel music as a genre, all right? Entertainment genre. Gospel music industry is dying. It's not moving into the 21st century as far as marketing and promotion. And choir and quartet music are dead. That's what was said. And if you read a lot of the comments, right, a lot of people was offended from the church.
Yeah.
I had to go and watch the interview myself. I didn't want to just get into the social media comments. I went and watched the interview. Although you might have an issue with the presentation from the gentleman who was saying this, the information he was giving about the business of the industry, I feel was valid. What do you think?
The business aspect for the gospel industry has always been missing. I think that we were so focused on the gospel to where we never focused on what is the business aspect of gospel. We was holding on to God's unchanging hand, but then we hold on to the kingdom business that God tell you to learn all aspects of the kingdom. And I think the business part of gospel, I'm not going to say it's always been missing, but I think there's been a lot of lack of knowledge of the business aspect when it comes to doing gospel. Because what was the only way you were able to get gospel music playing in the past on radio and concerts and or having church conferences? You didn't have a business. You didn't have a business mindset. You didn't have a marketing plan. It just happened. And because it just happened, we thought that was going to be the legacy. Gospel music is just going to happen. But along the way, we had to learn the business aspect. You had to learn the marketing. Social media came along. Things changed with just being able to show up in church. And more people grew. The gospel industry grew. You have more people in it other than Shirley Caesar, Kirk Franklin, and Donnie McClurkin, and Fred Hammond. So the music genre itself started growing. You have more than the Williams brothers representing the quartet. And I think that's a good thing because God has put gifts and talents in everybody. You know, fortunately, he told me not to sing. So he told me, don't get behind no mic. So you know, don't worry about auto tunes or nothing like that. But right. The people that he gave a voice to sing, they started tapping into that gift and they started singing for the glory of God, if I could say that.
Yeah.
But I think that when it comes to business, that's something that we have to learn not just when I say church people, we just have to learn the business of how to be able to promote, brand, and market ourselves and monetize and make money. And the reason why is they feel like it's dying is because they don't see it producing the prosperity when it comes to the finances.
So I'm glad you alluded to the money. Let me say this first. Everything back in the 70s, 80s, and then 90s to early 2000s, artists made money off of sales, whether it be record sales, the big LPs or the 45s, and we move, or tapes, and then we move to the CDs. All of a sudden, Napster comes, streaming and sharing files. All of that happened, changed the industry altogether. Some for the good, some for the bad. But now we're at a place where artists aren't making the money that they used to. It used to be like, oh, I know if I get a hit song, I'm going to be able to make a certain amount of money. It could change my life. Kind of like how sports people feel like if they get into the NFL or NBA or MLB.
Right.
Now we got streaming where 500 million streams is only going to give you maybe $50,000. You know, so artists have to find another way to make income. Mm-hmm. And if their business isn't right, then they're not going to be able to make income. A lot of these artists don't have 9-to-5s. This is what they do for a living. So do you think it's an issue with the artists charging to be performing at these events? Or do you feel like because it's gospel, you know, it shouldn't be like that.
No, I mean, I'm gonna give this analogy. I know I might get in trouble on your show, but when the preachers go preach, they want to get paid, right? So when the artists come to your church, they have to get paid. You know, I know that some of them, that I do a concert with the new artists, and they come, and for the promotions they come. It depends on the situation. You know, if you haven't somebody come to your church and you tell them you're going to pay them $5,000 and you get there, you tell them you don't have it, that's a different story. But if you let them know, hey, listen, this is just a concert for marketing promotions, you can set up a table, just come and perform, and let them choose if they want to come and do a pro bono, so to speak, and let them choose if they want to do that. But for the most part, like you said, that's how they get paid. They don't have any other income. And I don't think we should disallow or not allow them to be paid, and then don't talk about them because they want to be paid for coming to perform.
Exactly. Don't talk about them. And you're right. Some pastors get a good dime for coming in to share the word. And I'm not knocking. That's not for me to say, but they do get paid. It was also said that choir music and quartet music is dying. Now, I'm from Queens, New York. I believe that New York is one of the choir meccas. Chicago, New York, California, some parts of Detroit. I believe, I raised up on Timothy Wright. I was raised up on Hezekiah Walker. I was raised up on James Hall and Worship and Praise. Do you feel that choir music, we're going to talk about quartet as well, do you feel like choir music is seen its best days?
No, because choir music is not seen its best days. I think that we put choir music in a box. And I'm going to say this, we're the only gospel community is the only community that always talk against its genre. You don't hear any other genre saying country is dead or some form of pop rock is dead. So I think you put it out there to create the illusion that it's dead, right? You can't sing a praise team. You still have to sing in unison. You still have a smaller form of a choir. You may not have a lot of people, but your praise team, you got 2 or more people on it. You got to sound it like a choir. But no, I don't think choir music is dead. I don't think you can really kill choir music because that's just what we grew up on. You can't run it down in the ground because gospel music never gets old anyway. So you can go back to the Hezekiah Walkers. You can go back to 99.5 won't do. You can go back to, you can listen to that right now and it just feels like it's still relevant. So I don't think that's the only reason why choir music can't or will ever die, because gospel music is always going to be relevant no matter how old it is.
So I feel, and this is no shade against the worship and praise music that's been on the scene for some time, right?
Right.
I personally feel it, and Imelda and I talk about this all the time. A lot of the artists now aren't making songs that choirs can sing in church. I play bass, and we have church choir sings on second and fourth Sunday. And most of the songs that are sang are older songs. Now, we've done some Proverbs 3 by Todd Delaney and stuff like that. But most of the stuff is old. And you and I both listen to a lot of music, and I'm trying to figure out what songs can a African-American Black Baptist church that's not Maverick City style, what can a choir sing? I can't think of any.
You know why? They took away the hymn books in church. Bring back the hymnals. Bring back the hymnals. The choir gonna be able to sing out that hymn book.
That's true.
But I think I'm being facetious, but not. But we took away what the root of choir music is, right? Singing choir music, and why we need choir music. I think it was Kelly that said gospel music is always, choir music is going to always move the soul. I mean, it is. No matter who you are, it's going to move our spirit. So, I mean, if we're going to sing what's out there, are we going to, as the words say, sing unto the Lord a new song? Which one are we going to do?
Right. Right. That's true. That's true. Quartet music. They say quartet. They've been saying for years that quartet music is dying. Now, coming from New York, quartet music wasn't a big thing. Like, we had some quartet groups back in my day, but it wasn't such a big thing. It didn't really, to me, become so big as a particular style until Keith Wonderboy, really coming from Brooklyn, brought it out into the forefront. And then I moved down south, and everybody's get down.
You gotta do the runs, Tony. You
right. I was
you
like,
gotta
okay.
drive. You gotta drive it. You gotta drive it.
I had to learn how to play that bass line. Because you can't play the bass quartet being fancy. You got to keep that boom, doom, 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 doom. You got to play that for 2 hours. Doom, you know what I'm saying?
2.5.
Yeah. But do you feel like the quartet music is dying?
I don't think it's dying. It's there for us to enjoy, right? Are we still listening to quartet as much as our grandparents did, our great uncles and uncles did in the past? I don't think we're listening to it as much as they did. And I think with us not listening to it as much as they did, it makes it seem like it's going away. But Keith Wonderboy, you can still pull up a Keith Wonderboy song right now and and feel like it's a brand new song. Like, it's relevant. The Williams brothers, you can still listen. Lee Williams, Right. I think that the new people, the new artists coming along, I think that they don't want to do quartet. They don't understand the history of the soul of gospel music, because they just have a sound. They have their own sound. They have their own way of doing it, way of creating a new sound of music, which is fine. I don't even know if they can duplicate the quartet, because the struggle is different, right? Wow. The struggle is different for when they were doing quartet and choir music in the late 50s and 60s and 80s. Yeah. I mean, Mahalia Jackson she sung a cappella. Where the a cappella singers? You don't hear nobody singing about that.
Well, they can't sing like that anymore.
Mahalia Jackson didn't need any music, no bass guitar. She was the bass. Her voice created all the sounds she needed. Right. So I think we still have to remember that the legacy is in the history. And
I'm so glad you said that, because you would talk to a younger person, unless you raise them in a household that explains about the legacy and the history, they wouldn't get it. Mm-hmm. They are so far removed from the struggles that my parents and your parents may have had, and those who are watching, they don't get it. Their struggles are totally different. And so their music is different, and the message in the music is different. I looked at that interview, and both the interviewee and the interviewer are young, right? I would have to say they're younger than me. Mm-hmm. And they are coming into the industry with a different mindset, a different focus. Because one of the comments was, gospel music is, and I'm paraphrasing, gospel music is about struggle, and he didn't struggle, so some songs don't relate to him. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people would feel that way, so I think, whether to answer that question, you and I might say that gospel music isn't dying in these particular genres, but I think it depends on who you ask and the age that they are in, right? Because I don't know if my kids will be listening to Lee Williams. Yeah. But they may listen to Lecrae. Yeah. Or The Truth, or whoever else is out there. You feel what I'm saying? They might even listen to Maverick City and Kirk Franklin. So I would like to know a way to mesh it all together. Yeah. And not, like you said earlier, talk about it. Because we will talk about our own genre now. Mm-hmm. If we talk about the church so bad, we're going to talk about the genre of gospel. If we talk about the church bad, instead of coming together and praying for it. So I'm glad you brought that up, because this is a conversation that could really go both ways. But what I really try to do with my kids is teach them, all types of music. My sons know old school R&B music as well as some old school gospel. So I could see, and then from a marketing standpoint, right? Quartet maybe not be streaming like some other songs. You feel what I'm saying? It might be purchased by those who have a heart for it, but from a business standpoint, marketing, it may not be streaming well. And streams are the same as record sales.
Yeah.
So that's a question. That's a conversation that could go for a long time,
Yeah, but Tony D, if you think about it, you just have to play it, whether they like it or not. Did I like at the tender age of teenager listening to my grandmother blast her gospel music growing up? Not particular, but it's now that my grandmother has passed on, and now that I understand relationship and music and the connection with your relationship with Jesus with the music, it gives me a much more greater appreciation that she played gospel music around me. Because even though she may not have been struggling on a particular day, but her gospel music just made her feel good,
right?
Regardless. But she may have been struggling on a particular day and got through it because she was playing the gospel music. So whether you can relate to it because you struggle or not, you should still feel something different in your spirit and your soul just by listening to gospel music. And some people have to struggle to feel it. Some people don't have to struggle to feel it. You don't really have to struggle. But if you're having a bad day and you get in a car accident, you should be able to listen to a gospel song and be like, that made me, even though, let me be grateful that I'm still here.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe you didn't struggle, but what if somebody just stole your wallet? Maybe you lost your wallet. There are certain things that should be able to pull you up to a higher place. And you may not have struggled, but some people may say they haven't struggled, so certain songs didn't affect them. But something you went through, something happened, something, you dropped your bologna sandwich, something had to happen.
Right.
To make you, want to feel better at the end of the day.
Yeah, I got you. Some of the comments, Kelly said it's a new season. However, the original artist and sound and music are still relevant in any genre. Okay, that's what Kelly said. And Angee said music does bring relationships together no matter what. So yeah, and Angee also said Mahalia Jackson was one of the best. I agree with that as well. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, you're looking at the New Artist Profile Live with your boy Tony D on the radio, and our guest today, radio icon Patrice Smith from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Don't say Rocky Mountain, because it ain't Rocky Mountain, it's Rocky Mount.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for that. I said, they looked at me like, what?
Yeah, so, we will correct you with that Rocky Mountain.
Quickly. Yeah. So this is as a radio promoter and a radio programmer for a long time. And an advocate. I'm an advocate for independent artists, all the way. I've heard it said that radio stations or listeners of radio stations in different markets don't want to hear a whole bunch of new music. If you do that, if you program the station that way, people will leave the station. And radio station owners don't want people to turn away from the station. That means that they're not going to have ears to hear these advertisers, right? I beg to differ, because I am one who asks people questions and one who listens to people. One of the major issues why local radio has lost listenership to XM and streaming platforms in people's cars is because radio stations play the same songs over and over. And sometimes you can even time it. Okay,
when it's coming on.
7:00 this morning, Kurt played. 7:00 at night, he gonna play, because that playlist is just looping, right? I feel like it should be new, right? And I try to be impartial because I know my platform. I've had people say, Tony, we ain't gonna play the New Artist Profile on our stage. People don't want to hear a 2-hour broadcast of new music. How do you feel about that as a longtime programmer?
Well, I'm gonna say this. People are tired. I used to get tired. I'll just go back before I even started working with the radio station. People do get tired of hearing the same songs over and over at the same time. You being able to predict what's going to come on, unless it's your favorite song, unless it's a song you have to hear. But I think at one point in time, Tony D, I don't know if you want to sing yet. What happened was the quality of the new artist music wasn't up to par that they were playing. And that's what people didn't want to hear. It wasn't the new artist that was sung, because if the song is good, it could be just as good as any other major artist.
Yes, I agree.
And I think that what happened was they were just playing songs that didn't make sense. Don't nobody shoot me, but there were songs that they were just playing at one point in time. It has gotten better for some of the new artists, because now you see Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. You find that she has a spot now that she'll plug in a new artist song on her show. So I think that door is now opening up for new artists because they have improved the quality of the song. They got better writing of the music, and I think that's what's opening the doors for a lot of them. So I feel like everybody can be played.
And I think a lot of younger artists are coming in, and even though they still need to be educated, but their delivery and production of the music is so much better than it used to be. Mm-hmm. Right? These younger kids are coming in and they have quality musicianship, quality production, vocal ability is amazing. So you take somebody from maybe 40 years ago that's new, and now, and as you said, the song, baby, I know you got a heart for God, but singing is not for you. You know
that's what they told me. Get out the choir.
But now these artists are coming on into their own. It's like looking at Dion's son the other day. He like, hey, I'm ready to play. You know, I'm gonna throw 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? That's how these new artists are. Now, I will say they still need to be educated, right? Because they didn't know, but I think we need fresh and newness, because again, I am not, and I say this all the time, I am not knocking none of the established artists. You call some of your legendary artists, and I love them all, right? Mm-hmm. I love them all too, but I'm tired of hearing them. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, I'm sick of hearing them over and over and over and over and over when you got so many great songs from independent artists in these local cities that don't get an opportunity. So thank you for allowing the New Artist Profile to come on in Rocky Mount. And you even interviewing and playing an artist that I represent through Christian Sounds Media Group, because you got to have somebody to give you an opportunity. One of the things, and Miss Kim Burrell got me straight when I met her last week. We had this conversation, and she said we both agreed about the indie artists, and I said I wish a lot of established artists that's already got their platform would reach back and mentor and bring some of these cats and put them up. And I said, I don't think that's done a lot. She said, no, Tony. And she went on to tell me all the stuff that she did. I was like, okay, but I don't know how many people know that Miss Burrell does that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that some of the artists, some of the major artists, and I know Dorinda has her thing. I now know that Kim Burrell has her thing, but I hope they're doing this, because if you don't have anybody that's going to take the mantle when you go on to the upper room. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know, we all have to have our successors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And you find, Tony D, some of the established artists are collaborating with some of these new artists.
Okay, with the time, I'm glad you said that. The time we got.
Yeah, we gotta go. Okay.
Collaborations, right? I don't see anything wrong with it, right? It was alluded into the interview that Kirk and Maverick City's collaboration was good for both parts, right? And you have to watch the interview. But and when I heard it, I thought it was a genius move, because Maverick City has their audience who may not know Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin has his audience who may not know Maverick City. The combination of going on tour together, and they like, oh man, Kurt, them young kids like, oh, that old dude is cool. He got, and then the older people like, oh, Maverick City is amazing. You see what I'm saying? I thought it was a genius move. But some people were frowning on that collaboration. What do you think about that?
No, I think that's we were talking about relationship earlier. I think that's the only way that you're going to be able to get the proper exposure in the right way. And it's got to be the right collaboration. For Kurt and Maverick City, that collaboration worked because of the age gap, right? So it's going to have to make sense. You can't just be collaborating because you want to be with Fred Hammond or you want to be with Yolanda. It's going to have to make sense.
Yeah, I'm with you. And see, that goes back to the part, and I think that sometimes the church, in my opinion, and don't y'all beat me up if you watch this, all your big preachers and have me on YouTube shorts and saying, cutting these clips up. But sometimes I think the church forgets about the business of the gospel music arena. The interview that Naomi Rain had with Lecrae, you need to watch that. It's really, really informative. She brought up something that I never thought about, because they were talking about the price of the tickets and them getting paid. She said, did you think about the lighting people who put on these concerts? They got to get paid. Did you think about the ticket people who sell the tickets? Did you think about the security? Did you think about the people who do the wardrobe? Did you think about the sound team? Not just us? And she started rattling off people, and those, you and I talked about it. Those people who do the sound and the lighting get very little sleep if they're doing city after city after city after city. You know what I'm saying? And so they got to get paid. They got to pay. They got to put Rice Krispies on the table. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is just happens to be what they do for a living. Yeah. So I think sometimes we need to look at the issue in its totality.
Yeah. And once again, Tony, the times has changed. And I'm sure back in the day when they would cook, the church mothers would go in the church kitchen and cook food and pay them. We'll work for food because they wanted a meal. Times have definitely changed. People can't work for food just because you're going to feed them afterwards. That's a nice gesture, but that's not the business aspect of how it works anymore. Thank God for those days, and thank God that they could feed them before they hit the road on the bus going back to the destination. But now it's time to learn the business of the aspect. And I think so long, and nothing against them, they just didn't know the business side of it. They just had a way to do things that seemingly worked. And they was like, business what? Business who? What? Contract what? They wasn't doing any of that.
Right. And then they end up on Unsung.
Yeah. And Shirley Caesar, God bless her heart, to this day, and even the Caravans, they talked about how they learned the business through trial and error. Yes. They had to learn the business of the gospel music industry through trial and error, through performing and not getting paid. Right. So when you see them come, and y'all don't get mad at them because they've been through a lot. They perform and didn't get paid. So when y'all book them now, don't screw over Pastor Shirley. Give her her coin. She deserves them.
Yeah, I remember at an event in Columbia, South Carolina, when John P. Key had the Not Guilty album, and they were playing Rain on Us. They must have played that song for 45 minutes because John was waiting in the back with the band and the group waiting in the lobby. And when they said okay, that's when he came in, because they didn't have his money right.
Yeah.
Because he's got to pay the band, he got to pay to rent the bus, he got to people got to eat, and that's what I think sometimes we forget. I'm gonna say this, and I hope the preachers don't get mad, but think about it. Back in the day, Joe Willie Jackson was called the pastor of church, and he got 16 members, and he being the best pastor he can, right? And they giving him whatever they can give him. He making $125 a Sunday. Different generation now. Yeah. These pastors, these guys they graduating from Morehouse, and all these got 5, 7, 17, 29,000 doctorate degrees, business, and they're coming into these churches with a marketing strategy to market the church in a different way so that we can do what Jesus said, go outside Start in your area and then go beyond. That's what Jesus told the disciples. And so and they're spending a lot of the pastors were bivocational back in the day. They worked here in South Carolina. They worked at the plant, and then they got out the plant and they came and taught Bible study. You know what I'm saying? They worked 12 hours and came. No, these pastors at the church now, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they're doing a different thing. So it's a different season. Why do artists have to suffer? They
shouldn't have to.
They shouldn't have to. Yeah. So great
conversation. This was good, Tony D.
Huh?
This was good.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the clock. They're going to send me a text. All right, Tony. Stop talking. We could talk. I might have to have you come on again because we could talk about this some more.
Yeah, part 2 one day.
Real quick, if you had to mentor a new artist coming in, what would you tell them?
Mentor a new artist coming in. We definitely you're just gonna have to sit down. I gotta ask you, what's your prayer life like, right? We gotta start there. I know it sounds cliche, but we definitely have to start there. Then once we get through there, you definitely want to just listen and learn. After you listen and learn, ask your questions, then go to the next stage for the new artist. And I'm gonna be real quick. After you listen and learn and you go to the next stage, then it's time to learn how to have stage presentation. Watch yourself, critique yourself, let somebody else critique you. Learn how to have stage presentation when you go out here performing, because you can be great, but if you're on that stage and you're not connecting with your audience, it's not going to work. So definitely make sure you work on your stage presentation. And definitely, because I interview a lot of these, work on your interviewing skills, work on your personality, and make sure that you bring your personality. Find a personality for the interview. If you don't have one, just find one for 10 minutes. Find one for 10 minutes.
Right.
And that's what I say.
That's great.
I leave it up with that.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, follow Patrice Smith. You see her information scrolling on the bottom of the screen. You can listen to her on radio stations across the country. And if you happen to be in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, tell them how they can listen to The Promise.
You can listen to The Promise on the dial 102.5 FM in the Rocky Mount surrounding areas. And we have shout out to Bronson. He is running for Ward 3 City Council. You can check him out on The Promise as well. He does morning news that you can use, weather, opinions, and is opinion, something else like that. I'm trying to remember quickly so I can rack it up. But make sure you listen to him from 7 to 9 in the morning if you're coming through.
And listen to the Patrice Smith show as well.
From 12 to 5.
Patrice, thank you so much. I will see you Wednesday in Nashville.
Stellar week. God bless you. Thanks to your staff there, the bomb. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Patrice. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrice Smith, she is amazing. We're going to have her back because once you start talking about stuff like this, you're going to be talking about it for a long time, but I'm running out of time. So we want to shout out our new affiliate station for the new artist profile. I tell you, God is adding stations. Yeshua Radio, K-Joy. Yes, shout out to them. Miss Michelle, she's got us on Friday and Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm excited about that. And they do a lot of promotion. I love that they promote. So we are blessed to have that new affiliate station. I believe that's number 54. All right. And also make sure you get the book. We talked about a lot of stuff. And one of the things she said was interviewing skills. If you need to know about that, get my book, Lyrics to Limelight. It is available on Amazon.com right now. Make sure you get it. $30. I said 30. $30, the best investment you can make for your music career. And finally, make sure you get all of my music. Oh my God, my music is doing so well. Shout out to my promotion team, man. Queen Alicia from New Jersey, Alicia Jones, Damian Merle, Sam Purpose, Peter Terry. Oh man, everybody's doing such an amazing job. You can check out my Bandcamp for all of my jazz music. And man, just follow all of my music. And my single Party Tonight is doing amazing. The music video is on YouTube and I think it's Vivo. So check out the Party Tonight. My YouTube is the music of Tony D. The music of Tony D on Facebook and YouTube. I'm excited about what the music is doing, man. It's amazing. I'll be traveling to Nashville this weekend, so y'all keep a brother in prayer. And man, all things are well. All things are well. I think that's it. Is that it, guys? I think that's it. I didn't get a text, so I must be on point. So yeah, it's a wrap. I appreciate you guys so much for checking out the NAP show live. We took a hiatus for a couple of weeks, maneuvering some things around, but we are back in a new studio, and we're excited. We're gonna have Imelda back next week, and so she'll be with us, and we'll be chopping it up with a new guest. All right. As always, we want to leave you with this last word: trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean out on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. Because living for God is as easy as ABC. If you always believe Christ, your life will never be the same. Because we serve a God who can do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can even ask or think. So whatever you're asking God for right now, He can exceed that by 1 skrillion. Make sure you're living your life G-rated. What's G-rated? Living a lifestyle that's pleasing to God and brings glory to Him in everything that you do. I'm your boy, Tony D on the radio. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I'm going to close with this last word. Chill.
And let's have a moment of clarity. There's freedom in your transparency. When you speak, you release, that's therapy. It's my decision to listen and do it carefully. Wanna live carefree? Well, it's gonna start. When secrets are kept, families are torn apart. I wanna do my part to help heal your heart. Shed some light on your life when your days are dark. Help ignite a spark that'll bring change. Be your shelter from the rain, assist with.
It's your boy, Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
For all my people at the barbecues, backyard parties, it's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's a party tonight. Vibing with my people, bring the party to life. Hands up in the sky, we start the party off right. We in the place, early birds, we ain't tardy tonight. Nah. In the trance as the beat in our eardrums. Got the moves in my feet, bro, and then some. Gonna lose plenty sleep, only live once. Up all night, man, we lit, fam, no kids stunts. Karaoke session going live. On the mic, spitting favorite vibes. Reminisce about them older times. Bringing back them old school written rhymes. Celebration lit and you know it's real. Got the neighbors joining us, addicted to the party thrill. Jumping off the roof in the atmosphere, we hardly chill. Yeah, we going hard in the place like an army drill.